with the cooperation of WCVE Public Radio. Our theme music is composed by BJ Liederman. Our sound engineer is Rob Richards. Transcripts, podcasts, audio, and video are available at amomentintime.com.
Wednesday morning here on KSJE, and it's time for our weekly trip to the Encouragement Lab. Joining us in the lab this morning, none other than Dr. Mike Hattabaugh, who is in the lab. Good morning.
Good morning, Scott. How are you doing?
I am well, thank you. How are you in the lab? Lab looks pretty good today. You've been cleaning
Thank you. Yeah, you like the new temporary lab.
I like that.
We're still remodeling. This may be temporary.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
It looks pretty impressive from the Encouragement Lab. So this week we're talking about speaking to wise people. Is that the topic?
Speaking to wise people. So one of my favorite books in the world is a book called Boundaries, and it's all about how we set boundaries. I do that a lot in my coaching business, talking about that. But one of the things I heard him speak about recently, and this is, by the way, Henry Cloud is his name.
Okay.
But I heard him speak recently about the fact that when he goes to coach people or talk to people, that he only speaks to wise people, and he's learned that over the years. And I will tell you that I'm learning that lesson too, that wise people are the only people you want to speak to.
Okay. And now, obviously, we have to speak to other people too, right? We have to speak to everybody, but...
No, you don't need...
I don't?
So what I need to do, Scott, is I need to explain what wise means. Wise does not mean you're smart. As a matter of fact, one of the things I've realized, I chuckle at now, because as I've gotten a little bit older, if you can look at me, I am getting a little older. I've had more and more students and people come up to me and say, wow, you're wise. And why that's funny to me is I'm getting told I'm wise. I used to think people should tell me that I was wise because I thought I was smart.
Right.
But what's funny to me is I only realize I'm wise in the things that I can say that I don't know much about. That's what real wisdom is saying, I don't know much about that. So that's what makes you wise. Interesting.
Okay. So if we only speak to wise people, these are people that are aware that they don't know everything.
Well, and let me juxtapose it to the kind of people you don't want to speak to. The first kind of person that you don't want to share your information and help are evil people. Right. People that are truly evil, that are literally out for your demise or others' demise. One of the things I share in my classes all the time is, I've learned that what I can teach you, you can use for both good and for evil. And I'm telling you, I hope you use it for good, but I realize that I don't have a lot of control over that sometimes. So that's what I mean by that, is sometimes people are just evil and they only want to do bad intent with what you have to share. So like, you on your platform, you could probably invite some people into your radio station that would love to come talk on the air, but you know that they would be out to hurt people. And we don't want to do that.
Right. No, that's very true. So, got it. So if we only speak to wise people, this would be very helpful, right?
Well, so that's an easy one, evil people. Yeah. There's one other kind of person, though, that you also don't want to share anything with or at least invest a lot of time in.
Okay.
And that is foolish people. People that are just foolish. People that are not going to hear what you have to say. They're not interested in learning. They're just interested in getting whatever resource you have or you listening to them. I see that a lot in people going, well, I just want you to hear me. Well, first you have to listen to the person you're talking to before you have the right to be heard. So that's foolish. That's not wise.
Right. Okay. Well, that makes sense. I get that. And so if we do all this, then that should make for better communication, and we should feel better about communicating?
Well, and what it does is you only have so much time and energy, and so if you're investing it in foolish people or evil people, you're wasting it. So the whole context behind this is that be careful and be selective about who you choose to invest in. One of the things, and this is kind of similar, I didn't think about this until just now, but for years I've said, I'm not going to ever say anything critical or like, hey, can I help you here? Unless I always have this mental picture in my head of the person that I'm trying to talk to of a gumball machine, the old put a nickel in, get a gumball out machines.
Right, sure.
Well, if you have a gumball machine with another person, that's your capital, your relationship capital are those gumballs. So if you look at your gumball machine with that person and your gumball machine's empty, then guess what? You can't waste any gumballs on that person. You have to build a relationship and build up, the amount of goodwill between you, the gumballs that are in there, and then you can spin some of those gumballs in, saying, hey, can I help you out here? Maybe you ought to think about doing it this way. Because every time you do that with a person, it costs gumballs. And if you don't have any, then it's not going to work. Well, that's part of that wisdom thing, is that you don't want to empty your gumball machine on somebody that's just going to take those gumballs and waste them. Oh, I don't need this. Let's chunk it over here.
Right.
You want to use it on somebody who's going to, oh, wow, look, I really needed this blue gumball today because I'm ready to chew some gum.
You're right. Okay. That is good advice, Dr. Hattabaugh. I like it. I think we can use that in the new year. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
That is Dr. Mike Hattabaugh, everybody. He joins me every Wednesday from the Encouragement Lab right here on KSJE Farmington.
This is the Mental Health Minute with Dr. Ariel Leese.
Did you know we all have a unique language for feeling and showing love? Experts claim there are 5 love languages: physical touch, quality time, gift-giving, service, and affirmation. People with the love language of affirmation require daily encouraging words like, I really appreciate what you did for me. Expressing love through letters laced with kindness are also a means of affirmation. Speaking your loved one's language of love is a powerful way to build emotional security and a more meaningful relationship.
For questions or more resources, text 258-1029.
The beacon is getting brighter. This is KSJE, Farmington, New Mexico, 90.9 FM. And now 103.3 FM. Translator K277C.